Thank you for joining me in my kitchen. I'm so happy to have you here. So, I don't know if you noticed the title. We're gonna do a little chit chatting, and I'm gonna attempt to make a vegan quiche. I've I've had quiche in the past and I didn't love it, but we're gonna try it the vegan way and see if it's something that I can get into. It is high in protein and I'm trying to include more protein rich foods in my diet. And quiche, it looks pretty. I think it would be a nice thing to have, especially if I spend some time with family and friends, and I want to contribute something to the breakfast or brunch. So I thought making a quiche would be a good choice. So like I said, I've never done it before. I don't know how I'm gonna do this. I'm going to do it the vegan way, obviously. So if you guys have made this before and know what to do, you could chime in. If you see me doing something a little bit crazy, I kind of started the prep already. Thank you everybody that's joining me now. I started talking before everybody got here, but thank you for everybody that's just rolling in. Go ahead, let me know where you're from. I'm always excited to know where you guys are watching this from. I'm always excited to see when it's international, but I love my people right here in the US also. So just drop me a hey, a hi, and let's get into this recipe, because I did look at the time that it takes. Prep time is really easy and quick, but the bake time takes a little bit longer, about 40 minutes. So that would be a great time for us to do some back and forth questioning. I could answer your questions. I know you guys have a lot because you're always asking me for a lot of questions. Hello, I think that is Eugenia from Virginia. I like the way that rhymes. Hello, thank you for being here, thank you. And I know every week lately I'm here every single Sunday. It's getting a little harder and harder to film during the week. I have so much on my plate. So this is easy for me. I figured I was gonna try to make this anyway, like go for a test run. And I thought it would make sense if I did it with you guys. So here we go, vegan quiche. Let me get my ingredients. I'm first gonna start with there's some things that's gonna be prepared. I already have the oven set, and I will have the ingredients and the measurements in the description when I do the replay. So I already have the oven set to 375. I have a pre-made pie. Ooh, Michelle, don't break it, don't break it, don't break it. So I have a pre-made pie shell, all right? I'm gonna pop this in the oven and get it started. Get it to flash bake for a couple of minutes while we do the other ingredients. All right, we got that in there. Maybe I should set a timer. Give me a second. Oops, not that. Give me a second, guys. I just turned off the oven like a crazy person. All right, let's get a bowl. I see everybody chiming in. And this week I don't have a guest, so I don't have somebody to read the comments, but I'll try my best to read the comments. Hello, Ruby. Why am I losing my voice? Vicky, hi. Ruby, you're from, you guys know I'm Jamaican, right? There's some words, and even though I've lived in the US for 40 years, there's some words I just can't pronounce. And Iowa and Ohio are the two words. So hello, and if I pronounce it wrong, I'm sorry. Iowa. And Vicky's from Missouri, yay! Shoot for the Moon, I love that. Shoot for the Moon 40G is from North Carolina, yay! Thank you for joining me. All right, for my eggs, my vegan eggs, I'm gonna use this Just Eggs. I don't use this a lot. Usually if I want the taste or the feel of like scrambled eggs, I will do like a tofu scramble. So I'll just use tofu, kind of break it up and add the seasonings that I would normally put in scrambled egg. Or I would use chickpea flour to make scrambled eggs, but for this recipe, because I need liquid eggs, we're gonna use this. I have made liquid eggs with mung beans, but again, this is the first time I'm making this recipe. I wanna practice first before I do that. All right, so we're gonna use this as our egg base. All right, so let me get that in a bowl. Oh, and I'm gonna add sausage, vegan sausage, and this is the one that I'm using. So if you guys have questions, this one, I hope you guys can see it. It is from Trader Joe's. It's okay. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's okay. It's not like, there is one from Field Roast. That one, I will give a 10. That one is absolutely delicious, but it literally is like $7 a pack for like 4 sausages. I refuse. I can't. This, I think, is like $2.99 or $3.99, and it will do. So we're gonna use this as our sausage to go into the bake, into the quiche. All right, let's do this. All right, let's open this up. Who else is here? Kathy, hi Kathy. Hi, I had plans to go back and watch your video about menopause. You know what? So, you know, in the beginning, I said that, you know, this takes a really quick prep, but it takes like 40 minutes in the oven. And that's why I kind of was like, you know what, let me do this live. Because I felt like I cheated you guys last week when we did this, because you guys started to have a lot of questions about menopause. And I felt bad afterward. The live was already an hour long, and I didn't want to add to it by, you know, having more questions. So this week I was like, you know what? In that 40 minutes that this quiche is in the oven, if that's what you guys want to talk about, let's talk about it. Because I knew nothing about menopause or menopause symptoms. Let's talk about it. You can ask me all the questions, what I'm going through, what I'm doing for treatment. Everything that you're curious about that I'm able to answer, I'll talk about it soon as I get this in the oven. All right, so let's see if I could turn this a little bit so you guys could kind of see what I'm doing. I hope you can. For me, the words are covering everything. All right, you see my bowl, perfect. Let's get this out of the way. We're gonna pour this right into the bowl. All right. And honestly, I do love these eggs. I can't lie. They're very, very, very close to real eggs, like real scrambled eggs. They taste the same. The texture is the same. It's just sometimes I just try to stay away from, you know, too much processed foods. It's high in protein, which I love. Let's see without my glasses if I could see this and tell you. This has 5 grams of protein, so that's really, really good. Normal eggs, I think, have about 6 or 7 grams, so it still has a good amount of protein per serving. Let me grab, in here, we're gonna add some milk, and I'm using soy milk. All right, and let me grab a whisk. Oh, do I have a whisk? I thought I did, here it is. All right, so let me grab a whisk. I'm gonna also add in here, we gotta season this up, some garlic powder. All right, I'm just gonna eyeball, but like I said, I'll have the measurements for you guys in the description box. I'm gonna use black salt instead of regular salt, and black salt is what gives that really eggy smell, has that sulfur smell, and it just kind of really will remind you or trick you into believing that this is real eggs. So we're gonna add that in there, just a little bit, just to salt that up, and some fresh black pepper. All right, let's see if I can read some things. I'm gonna try to read out the comments because I noticed on the playback, I'm answering questions, and for people who didn't see it live, who don't know what the question was, it looks kind of silly because I'm like answering, but I'm not giving the question. So I'm gonna try. However, this question is really long, so let's see. Love your channel and what you're doing, and I have made many of your recipes and love them. My family loves them. My family loves them to don't know they were eating vegan. I love that. I love that because that's the reason I started the channel. So many people were like, what do you eat, Michelle? What do you eat? Do you eat nuts and lettuce? And I was like, no, I'm actually eating real food. And then I realized that there was a group that just didn't know how to make plant-based food, and I was enjoying it. So I was like, you know what, let me share this. Let me start a YouTube channel, and that's what made me start it. I just want you guys to see that you can eat delicious foods. It's easy. It doesn't have to be complicated, even though some vegans do try to make it really complicated. It doesn't have to be complicated. All right, so we got that going. Now to this, I'm going to add a little bit of cornstarch just to kind of give it a nice binder, because I don't want to take the chance of putting this in the oven. Again, it's not real eggs, and it becomes out soggy. So I'm going to put just a little bit of cornstarch. So let me grab my cornstarch. Do I have a spoon in the vicinity? I'm going to add just about a tablespoon. All right, add that in there, and we're gonna whisk this together and make sure there's no lumps. All right, let's see if I can read while I'm doing this also. Yeah, we'll get to the menopause, because that gets so deep. There's so many, there's so much with menopause. Like, oh Lord, I wish somebody had warned me. I wish somebody had warned me. But that's why I'm here. That's why I'm here to prep you guys and prepare you guys. Even if you're nowhere near it, you can start preparing your body now for what's about to come. You know, by eating the right foods, exercise, all of that. Because now I feel amazing. Now I feel great. But ask me 8 months ago, I just wanted to sit on the floor in a ball and just cry, basically. All right, so that has thickened up. The only weird thing with this is that you can't really taste it. All right, let me check on the pie shell in the oven. Give me 2 seconds. All right, it's coming along, it's coming along. So we're gonna put this on the side. Let me organize a little bit. So what I have that I'm gonna put into this quiche, I'm gonna do some spinach. So I just took some frozen spinach and I kind of got out all of the water. You wanna make sure you squeeze out all of the water. You can saute the spinach if you like, but it's gonna go in the oven and cook anyway. So that's why I didn't do it. Hope I'm not wrong. Hope when it's done, the spinach is not kind of weird in there. I'm gonna do that, and I'm also gonna do the sausage. I'm just gonna do 1 link, all right? I'm gonna cut them up just a little bit smaller. And like I said, these sausages, they're all right. They're okay. They could pass. If you're eating it with other things, it could pass. It could pass, because God knows, $7 for some sausage, I refuse. Field roast, it gotta come down. However, when the supermarket does have it on sale, I do stock up. I get, like, you know, if they have buy one, get one, or, you know, whatever, I do stock up on the field roast brand. All right, so I'm just cutting this into just smaller little cubes. And like I said, 1 link is plenty. We don't wanna overcrowd this quiche. All right, push that on the side. And what I do have, and I'm gonna bring my little, let me unplug this so we don't have any issues. I'm gonna bring my camera over here, because what I did, this is still a little hot, I started to and I just sauteed some onions, just kind of caramelized them a little bit. So I started that ahead of time, so we're gonna add that in there also. All right, let me put you guys back. Okay, let's see, any questions I could answer now while that is still in the oven. I'd love more recipes I can make with chronic illnesses. Lot of your pots and pans. Yay! All right, so this is the struggle that I'm being real with you guys. That's why I like when you guys come on the live, because you don't always know what's going on in people's lives, right? Like I said, you notice there's not a lot of videos that I'm putting out right now. There's always times in our lives where we go through a change, right? And when I started this channel, I think maybe 6 years ago, maybe 5 or 6 years ago, 5 years, I was at a place in my life where we were going through the pandemic. I was trying a whole bunch of new recipes and I'm excited. I'm like, finally, I get to show the world what I'm eating. So, you know, I'm making everything. I'm making fried oyster mushroom and I'm frying and I'm frying and I'm frying. I'm doing all this stuff. And it was good. It was delicious. The recipes are still there for you guys that need it. However, once I entered that perimenopause, menopause situation where I started to gain a whole lot of weight, didn't know what was going on, I tried different things. I tried keto, I tried just anything that I thought would help me lose this weight, and nothing was happening. Not until obviously I went to the doctor, found out what really was going on, that it was menopause, and that's why I was gaining the weight and how I needed to change my diet. Because I've changed my diet so significantly, and I need to do a what I eat in a day, because honestly I don't eat the same way that the previous videos had showed. It's a little harder to make those videos. Not only am I eating pretty much the same thing every day with some minor adjustments, they're pretty, I don't want to say boring, because I love the way it is. I love the way it tastes, but it's not so interesting that I'm like, oh my God, let me do a video about this. You get what I'm saying? So that's why you guys are not seeing a lot of videos from me lately, but I'm really trying to like think hard, and I do have to understand, because I like the person that asked that question. And also yesterday I was talking to my sister, and she happened to have a friend, unfortunately, that found out that she has breast cancer, and her friend didn't know that I was my sister's sister. She's been watching my videos, trying to get information, trying to eat plant-based, and had no idea that my sister and I were sisters. And I felt a need at that moment to get back into doing videos, and also to do videos that really show health conscious eating, not just vegan, because honestly vegan food can be very unhealthy. You know, plant-based is a whole different story, but vegan food alone can be very unhealthy. You can eat Oreos, it's vegan. Soda is vegan, you know what I mean? But foods that's really going to nourish your body, specifically for women that are going through perimenopause and menopause, because it's a different type of nutrition that you need. So I hope that helps. Hold on, let me check on that in the oven, and I think it's ready. I think it's time. So let me bring it out, and let's get that filled so we really could deep dive into the questions that you guys are asking. Let me get my mittens and get in here. All right, my pie shell is ready. And I don't bake a lot, so this is not, this pie shell is kind of, it's all cracked up, and it's been in the fridge for a couple of months, all right? But it's ready, it'll work. It'll be fine, relax, it will be fine. All right, so what we're gonna put in is all of our veggies or whatever that you choose. Like I said, I chose to use, ooh, that's hot, to use some sausages, some vegan sausage. I'm gonna place that in there now. Put that right in first. So I'm curious, have anybody made quiche? Anyone? So you could tell me if this is like, what I'm doing is close to what should be happening. This is nice and dry. I like this. I squeezed out, oops, most of the water, so that's nice and dry. Let's kind of spread it out. You know what I'd love to put in here? Some like heirloom tomatoes, but I don't have that, and it's not summertime, so we're just gonna skip that. But I could see that be like really pretty in here. Let me get you in closer. Tilt this down a little bit so y'all can see more of what I'm doing. There we go. All right, and now I'm gonna put in the onions. I didn't want to lift the pot. I'm being lazy, so I scooped all the onions in the spoon. All right, put that on here. Ooh, it smells good. Smells good. Now, I'm gonna put my egg mixture. Let's give it another good mix. And we're gonna fill it up. All right. That looks good. So far, it looks like I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. All right. So that's what it looks like. Yeah, it looks good. It looks good. All right, let's not pop it in the oven. Let me turn it so y'all can see that I'm really putting it in the oven. All right, good. Where's my mittens? Open this up. All right, let's get that in. All right, and let's set this for, let's set it for 55 minutes. Just in case. All right, so we did that. Now let's chat. All right, let me set you guys up. I probably should sit down. I probably should have ate something, but you know, we'll do it this way. Oh, what is somebody saying? I want to see this. Mary Hunter, don't you pour eggs and cheese over the whole thing? I didn't put any cheese in there. I don't have any. I don't have any vegan cheese. Again, I'm trying to not do too much processed foods. I kind of backed away from the vegan cheese a little bit, but oh my gosh, you're right. You know what I forgot to put in? Nutritional yeast. Let's pretend that didn't happen. I'll have it in the ingredients though. I forgot to put in nutritional yeast. You see what happened when you do things live? All right, Mary, you got me. You're right. I should have put something cheesy in there. All right, next time. When I made quiche back in the day, you pour all, oh. Okay, Vicky's saying when she made quiche back in the day, you pour all your ingredients in the eggs and mix all together. Put it in a shot. I guess I could have done it that way too. You know what, Vicky? We're gonna see how this come out. That's why I said it's practice, because a lot of times, obviously, if I had never done the recipe before, I'll do a couple of run-throughs before I actually make the YouTube video, just to make sure that it's right and the recipe's right for you guys. But this one, I've been apprehensive about doing it. I don't know why. It scares the hell out. You know why? I can't bake, and it reminds me of bacon. I can't bake. It just, all that measuring just drives me crazy. And I think that's what scares me. I was actually nervous for this live because I don't know what I'm doing. And usually I know what the hell I'm doing. I know how to cook, but that bacon it throws me every single time. It's not. All right, guys, while it's in there, because it's gonna be in there for a while, and I really want you guys to see the finished product if you hang around. For those of you who have questions about perimenopause and menopause, I will answer as best I can from my own experience. So go ahead and shoot. Go ahead, ask your questions. Last week, I think we got on the topic of cost. That is not covered, the treatment, the hormone replacement therapy is not covered under insurance, which shocked the heck out of me. And it's out of pocket. So you basically, all of the treatment is out of pocket, and it's expensive. It is definitely not something cheap. I feel sometimes my heart, I'm just like, I wish, because not everybody can afford it. And I just can't imagine going through what I was going through, and just there is no way for you to be able to pay for that medical attention. Again, a lot of people, not everyone go through the same symptoms. It's gonna be different across the board for every single person. I've heard many fitness influencers make the claim that if you're healthy, you eat healthy, you exercise, you're never gonna have menopause symptoms. That's a damn lie. That's a damn lie. When I tell you, I am one of those people that I've been working out since I can remember. I remember at probably 12 or 13, instead of playing with Barbies and dolls and stuff like that, we would play workout. Like my sister and I would get all my little friends on the street, and we would play workout. Let's do Jane Fonda. You know, I had my sweatshirt with the hanging off my shoulder, and we would be working out. So I've always loved to work out. I've always loved strength training. I I can't say I ate healthy my whole life, but most of my life I've been on some kind of plant-based or vegan diet, and it came and hit me like a ton of bricks, and I didn't know what it was. So I'll give you guys some just an idea of how it happened, right? So I'm 54 years old, and I would say maybe 2 weeks. My birthday is May 14th. About 2 weeks after my birthday, so I'm just about entering, and this is of this year. I'm just about like entering June. I just started having symptoms like hot flashes. I didn't know what it was. I remember honestly working on a recipe in the kitchen, and I just thought the kitchen was hot. I was just like, it's just so hot in here. And I started taking my clothes off, and my husband looked at me like, it's not that hot. And I was like, look at me. I'm like sweating, like the water's running down. I thought it was just a one-off thing. Like, it's just happening, just once, but it kept happening. Right afterwards, I noticed I wasn't sleeping at night. I would wake up and I would be so hot again, dripping wet, just really uncomfortable. And I would just be up all night. I'd wake up at like maybe 2:30, 3 o'clock, and just be up till maybe 5:30 in the morning. Normally I get up at about 6 o'clock, so I wasn't sleeping. It started to worry me because I work out early in the morning, and I I wouldn't have the energy to work out. So now I'm tired from not sleeping. I'm hot all the time. It's uncomfortable because you never know what to wear. It definitely, you have to wear layers because you're gonna be ripping your clothes off. It was really uncomfortable. But there were other symptoms that I just thought it was part of just life. One that I mentioned last week was an itchy back. My back was just so itchy. I remember I went out and I got one of those long hands or fingers, and I would just keep it by the bed. I was like, why is my back so itchy? It must be dry. And I would put lotion on it, oil, nothing. It would just still be itchy. I had this terrible pain, just like pressure and soreness in my hips. Like my hips felt so heavy all the time. And I thought maybe I'm just tired. I remember saying, my God, what would happen? Because I'm not employed, like I don't have a job. And I did come from retail where you had to stand all day before I had my own business. And I remember thinking, what if I had to stand all day? Like what are women doing that like is feeling this pain? Because I couldn't even stand up. My hips hurt so bad. Other things I would notice, I would choke a lot. Like I would be talking, all of a sudden I would just like choke on my spit. And I was like, okay, what's going on? But I would never link it to that. My mouth was always dry. Like I was just so thirsty all the time. What other things? My ears was itchy and always ringing. I'm always like just scratching my ears. My scalp was dry. My skin started to get really dry. I never had dry skin. I was always happy that I had a little on the oily side, but pretty normal. There were just so many things. I'm trying to remember them all just in case that, you guys are going through this and you're like, wait, this is not normal. But really what got me was, I remember one day I took a shower and I came out of the shower and I was drying off. And I just felt like I wasn't me. Like the body that I was in just wasn't mine anymore. I don't know if that makes sense. It's just like I wasn't Michelle anymore. And I came out of the bathroom. My husband was sitting on the bed, and I said to him, could I tell you something? And I said, I don't know how to explain it, but I don't feel like myself. And I feel bad for him because he didn't know what to do. He was like, what do you mean? And I was like, I don't feel like myself. I don't know who I am. My brain, I don't know what's going on. I just don't feel like myself. I said, I think today I'm just gonna rest. I'm just gonna lay in bed and just rest. And he's like, yeah, maybe you just need some rest. And that was it. That's what I thought. I just thought that was it. Now, for those of you who watched my lives before, what I did in the past, my career was in the beauty industry. So I was a professional makeup artist. I was a business manager for MAC Cosmetics for over probably 15 years. And after that, I opened my own makeup studio in Atlanta, in Buckhead, where we did eyelash extensions, you know, beauty services, waxing, eyelash extensions, makeup tutorials, stuff like that. So I still had, even though I didn't do that anymore because I sold my portion of the business to my business partner, I still had some clients, right, that I still do eyelash extensions for. I still do them now. And I remember, I'm very professional, guys, so I remember doing my clients' eyelashes and a hot flash hit. And when I tell you, it was like the worst. Okay, let me describe for people who don't know what it is, because people think you just get hot. You get, it's almost like a inferno of fire starts like in your gut, and you know it's coming. You know, it's like it starts, you feel it coming, and it just rises within you, and it's hot. It's like a volcano, and then it just, you pour sweat on the outside, right? So I felt it coming. I felt in my stomach. I was like, oh my God, I'm about to have a hot flash. And I'm doing this client's eyelashes. When they get their eyelashes done, they're laying, you know, flat on the table, on the bed. And, you know, I'm right over their head. So they could feel my hands. They could feel the heat. And I remember sitting there, I was like, okay, I can't let her know what's going on. I'm just gonna keep doing her lashes, keep doing her lashes. But I could feel the water, the sweat running down my back, just into my underwear. And I could feel the seat just getting soaking wet. And I was like, oh, okay. And she says to me, Michelle, are you okay? Like your hands are like on fire. They're so hot. And at that moment I said, hey, could I just take like 3 minutes, just take a break? I'm having a hot flash. And she was like, oh, you going through menopause? And I was like, yeah, just give me a couple of minutes. And she goes, oh, you know, my sister, who I knew her sister. I knew her sister was a doctor. I just didn't know what kind of doctor she was. She goes, you know, my sister could help you. She's a hormone specialist. Why don't you call her? And I was like, oh, sure, I forgot that your sister, that's what she did. She goes, because it sounds like you're in like, you're going through a lot and she could fix it. And I was like, okay. And that's how I ended up getting treatment. I called her, I texted her right away, because obviously I was friends with her. Like I said, I've been to her house many times to, you know, different functions. I just never wondered or cared to know what kind of doctor she was. I just knew she was a doctor. And we set up an appointment, and she set up blood tests. I had to go and get blood tests. And that's the difference between going to your regular doctor and seeing a specialist. The blood tests were specific for the needs that she needed, for the markers that she needed to look at. And when I went into her office, she said, well, if you look at these charts, the percentage of estrogen, you have none. You're at 0. So you're in menopause. And I remember thinking, I didn't think I was gonna get menopause. And she's like, why would you not think that? I said, because my mom had a baby at 43, and I asked her if she went through it, and she just said, no, as Jamaican mothers would. She said, I don't know about them things, I never have that. And I was like, okay. Though she didn't have it, I didn't see any signs of it, you know, so I just thought that was it. So that's my story. And I have younger sisters. Like I said, my mother had my youngest sister at 43, so literally we're 20 years apart. And I remember we were at like her house, and I was hot, and I took off my shirt, and she goes, you're acting just like mommy used to act. And I was like, so mommy did have these symptoms? And she's like, yeah, she was always hot. That's why she cut off all her hair, because she was hot and she was always sweating. And I was like, all right, I'm mad now because nobody warned me. If I had known, I'm a researcher. So if I had known, I would have been researching every single thing to find out what was about to come, and not had to suffer for that time. So anyway, let me answer some questions before I get back into this story. Brain fog. So this is Shoot for the Moon. I'm gonna know you by the end of this. Shoot for the Moon says she had brain fog that overwhelmed me, made me feel like I lost myself. I also could not sleep. That brain fog is real. I didn't mention it, and maybe I was going through it, but I guess because I didn't have like big responsibilities. I mean, I wasn't working. All I was doing was making videos. You know, I was in my happy place with food. I didn't find it I didn't get brain fog. Now, if I was still running a business or managing MAC Cosmetics, I think I would have noticed it because that's a lot of work. I just joined for the first. Hi, Fanny. 103, no, sorry, 1031, Fanny. I just joined for the first time. Welcome to the live. We're talking about perimenopause, menopause symptoms, and what I went through when I found out that I was going through menopause, because I knew nothing about it, and I found out that most women don't. Some women still think that they're never going to go through it, which is it's inevitable. You have to go through it. It's you at some point, just like you went through puberty, you have to go through menopause. You have to lose all your sex hormones, just same way you got your sex hormones to have babies. So everybody's gonna go through it, but everybody's gonna go through it differently. Some people say they never had any symptoms, and God bless them. But I did, and I just, just sharing my experience and seeing what questions you guys have that I could share with you. Yeah, you're right. What's that? Nifty friends, boy, the Jamaican mother. Every time I would ask her something, I remember for a little while, that's why I went plant-based. I was so depressed, like severely depressed. And I remember I would call her always around my period. Like I would just go into this crazy depression. Suicidal. I'm not embarrassed to say it now. Suicidal depression. There was a couple of times that I did just not want to be here anymore. And I remember asking her, I was like, Mommy, have you ever feel that? She goes, no, boy, I never feel them things. Them, I don't know what I talk about. I'm like, what? Like, could we just be better as mothers? Like, what? And so I just thought I was in my own world. I was like, well, I guess I'm the only one that's gonna go through this. Because I didn't know. Thank God I have a supporting husband, and he was like, you know what? Let's go to the doctor and see what they see. And fortunate for me, it wasn't anything where I had to take medication or anything like that. It was my birth control pill. So my birth control pill was giving me severe depression. And once I was off of that, I had mild depression. Then I just changed my diet, and that helped me. Just once I stopped eating meat, dairy, it changed my gut microbiome and just made me feel a lot better. I can definitely relate. It's so bad. Still learning my body through this ordeal. I know. I made it a point. I have a daughter, and my daughter is 27. I make it a point to explain every single thing to her, everything that I'm going through. I'm like, just so you know, this is what may happen. And, we have open dialogue, so I know what she's going through. She's comfortable to come to me and talk about it, because it's just not right. We don't have, we live in the male society that doesn't value the medical information for women. They're not even doing any testing, anything till now about menopause, and for us not to talk to each other about it. But I'm gonna give her grace, because it was a different time, and maybe they just didn't talk about it back then. But it did me such a disservice, because I had no idea. I could have done so much better, and that's why I'm here talking about it, just so you guys can be prepared, because there is ways to feel better, because I feel like $1,000,000. I can't even explain how I feel. I literally feel like maybe 18, 19. My energy is just back. My mental is back. My physical is back. Everything is back. And I know a lot of people will say, because I am on hormone replacement therapy, a lot of people had a lot to say. Oh, it's going to give you cancer. It's going to give you this. But like I said, I am a researcher, and not only from what the Dr. Nicole Peoples told me, I went and found out on my own, just kind of did my own research to find out what was going on, and to find out that it does not give you cancer at all. That was just, that's been redacted. That's been debunked. That is not true. That came out about a month ago from the health department, that it is not, it's not true. It was one doctor who wrote a paper, and there was no real specific testing done to find out if that was. And for a generation of women, they had to live without having the benefit of something that would make them feel better, basically. And I'm so glad I live in this time that it's something that I could take and add to my daily routine and feel better, because there's no way I don't even think I could be here standing talking to you guys right now, because with the depression, the aching, the like I think Fani had said, or Nifty, the brain fog. It was a lot. It was a lot. The shoulder, they called it um, uh, I think cold shoulder or something. Like I could not even lift my arm up. Like this whole arm was just numb, and I didn't know what it was. I went for physical therapy. They kept asking me, "What did you do?" I don't know what I did. I said, I knew it wasn't from lifting weights, because it just kind of, maybe I thought it, maybe I slept on my arm wrong and that's what was causing it. There's so many symptoms. There's so many symptoms, because once you start losing your estrogen, people don't realize that that controls like everything in your body. It controls your muscles. It controls your brain response. It controls everything, so that everything starts to, that's why you start getting all of those symptoms, like the itchy skin and the dry skin and everything like that. Okay, let's answer. Yeah, mental health is taboo in our culture, and I refuse. I say to everybody, if you need to go to a therapist, go to a therapist. We all need somebody else outside of the people we know to talk to. We do. So it should not be taboo at all, because I've seen so many dramatic changes in family members and friends that just go to a therapist, because it really helps you to understand why you're doing certain things. That's why I'm starting to love the retreats, because the retreat is kind of like that therapy, but you're amongst other women and they're going through the same thing. And once you leave, you still have that group of women that you could still confide in, because you experienced it on a retreat. All right, let's see. I will research it too, but what is involved in HRT? All right, let's see. Let's see if I could tell you specifically what it is. So HRT is short for hormone replacement therapy. There are different different forms of hormone replacement therapy. From what I understand, I chose the pellets, but there is cream, so topical. There's a patch. For me, those didn't work, because those were more, I would have to do them consistently, like either every day or once a week or something like that. And I was like, I know me, I remember myself with birth control pills, I'm never gonna remember, or I don't wanna remember. So I chose the pellets, because the pellets are inserted and you don't have to have them reinserted for every 4 to 5 months. It kind of depends on your activity level. If you're somebody that works out a lot, 4 to 5 months. If you don't, it's usually around 6 months. So I have the bioavailable hormone replacement therapy, which is very safe. They're a tiny, tiny rice grain, almost smaller than a rice grain size pellet. And depending on what your results of your blood is, how your doctor would choose the amount that you need to be placed. So not everybody gets the same amount. It all depends on what you need. For me, like she said, I was completely, so let's say you're in perimenopause, obviously you're gonna still have some estrogen, so you might not need as much. For me, because I was completely, I had no estrogen, just everything, oh gosh, what is the word I'm looking for? Testosterone was very low also. And yes, women need testosterone. We need a balance of estrogen, testosterone, and progesterone. I didn't know that either. I was like, I need testosterone, but I'm gonna turn into a man. And she's like, no, all women need testosterone. So my testosterone was also very low. So that's what the hormone replacement replaces for me. Testosterone and progesterone, which I get in a pill I take every day, and the estrogen. All right, let's see. What kind of hormone therapy you're on, if you don't mind me asking? So I think I just answered it for Fanny. It's the pellets. So the way the pellet works, they usually put it in the fattest part, the fattiest part of your body. So for most women, it's gonna probably be your butt. And they make a tiny, tiny little incision. You don't even feel it. Honestly, I'm terrified of needles, and every time I go in, well, I've only been there twice, but when I go in and she says, okay, we're gonna do it now, I'm like terrible. I'm like, this is gonna hurt, and I never feel it. You know, she's like, okay, it's done. I'm like, okay. So on my butt cheek, she makes a little insertion, and then she inserts the pellets. She covers it with bandage, and you remove the bandage, like, you know, within 24 hours, and pretty much there's no scarring, there's nothing, and it just slowly releases the hormones that your body need. Frozen shoulder, yes, Renee. Are you asking me a question about frozen shoulder? You know about it. I didn't know anything about it. Honestly, well, let me be honest. Maybe about a week or so ago, I remember thinking, I keep seeing, because now, you know, when you talk about something, you see it all over social media. And I kept seeing women talk about frozen shoulder. I remember thinking, oh God, that's one of those symptoms I never got. You know, I got everything else, but I never got frozen shoulder. And then I listened to they were on a panel and they were talking about it, and the lady started to describe it. And I was like, oh, that's what I had. I just thought, like I was explaining, I thought it was just my shoulder, either I slept on it, or I thought like, when I walk my puppies, when I walk my dog, there's a gate that I have to like press, like a big heavy gate to get out. And I thought, oh, maybe I pressed that gate a little the wrong way, and that's what's causing my shoulder. But literally for weeks I could not raise my arm. It was just the inside, the joint would hurt, like just I just couldn't raise it, and it terrified me, because remember I said I do eyelash extensions. So I remember thinking, oh my God, like how am I gonna keep doing, like by the end of the day, I remember I started wearing a sling because I have to keep my arm up. But now that I think about it, it was frozen shoulder. It was frozen shoulder. I was probably in my mid-40s at that time. So I was probably in perimenopause. Are you taking bioidentical hormone replacement? Yes, Sherry, I'm taking bioidentical hormone replacement. So I started in, I've had 2 rounds. I can't remember when I started, but I've had 2 rounds. Hawk Sharma. Hey, from India. Well, welcome. Excruciated. Yes, Renee. It's so hard to explain, but the pain is, it's on, I can't even explain it. Excruciated, I guess, is the word. Uncomfortable, excruciated. Every time you try to move, you're like, oh God. It just hurts so much. Like I said, I had to put my arm in a sling. I went for physical therapy, and they showed me like a couple of different moves. I remember they kept asking me like, what did you do? What did you do? It must be your workout. And I was like, no, it's not my workout. You know, like I said, I've been working out for a while, and I'm not saying I'm void of injury, but I knew it wasn't that. I was like, it's not that. It's not that. And for a while, I couldn't even do weight training, like lifting or anything. I had to do mostly squats because it just hurt so bad. I don't know why and how it went away. I remember I kept doing the instructions that they gave me from physical therapy, you know, using the stretch bands, and I kept, you know, stretching the band and everything like that, and it went away, but it hurt like hell for the couple of weeks I had, probably 2 months, it felt like that. Nifty friends, I'm 35 and I had similar experience in October, and I thought it was because I slept on my shoulder. I couldn't lift my arm above my head, or so. Yes, yeah. So the next question, I'm guessing somebody's gonna ask, because I get this a lot. A lot of people are like, well, I don't need to know that because I'm not going through it yet. And they're usually in the 30 somethings, right? There is no specific age that you're gonna enter perimenopause. So I can't tell you, oh, when you're 40, that's when it's gonna happen. Oh, when you're 45, oh, when you're 35. I actually had a friend from New York, and she literally went into menopause at 38. and we're probably 5 years apart. So she's 5 years younger than me. And I remember thinking, she's crazy. What's she talking about? She ain't in menopause. But like literally, now that I know, I'm like, oh my gosh, she did. And she was 38 and she went into menopause, not even a peri. Like she totally, everything shut down and she's in menopause. So it just depends on, I guess, what your mom have been through. You know, if you're lucky enough to have that mother that will tell you about it. Um, it kind of depends on what your lifestyle is like, because I have noticed once I changed my diet, it has helped with some things. I'm not gonna say totally helped with everything, but you have to be so deliberate with your diet in order for you to avoid some of the symptoms. Renee says, I would scream out in pain and I got a cortisone shot in my shoulder. Did I get a cortisone shot? I'm trying to think. I think that's what helped. Yes, because I'm trying to remember. You know, that was 45. That's like 10 years ago. Yes, that's probably what took the pain away. I got a cortisone shot. Yes, because I remember I was familiar with a cortisone shot because my husband, he was in a car accident and he had to get them. And I remember they said, oh, do you want the cortisone shot? And I was like, yeah, because I remember it helped him with his pain. So I end up taking it. Thank you, Renee, for refreshing my memory. I got the same thing. That's what helped to stop it. But you know, if we just had the information and we went to our specialists, we would have been and was able to take a blood panel test where we were able to see where our blood work, we would know that we were probably in some form, and know what percentage of our estrogen that we have lost and why we're going through that. Yeah. Any other questions about it? Okay, so as far as the cost, I can't tell you an exact cost. I could give you a ballpark of what I pay. So when I went into her office, it's around, for the office visit, it was around, out of pocket obviously, around $200. From that, I decided to take a subscription because I knew it was something I just wanted. I didn't care. I was like, I need for it to be relieved. So I took her subscription package where I'm able to see her anytime if I need any kind of extra estrogen or anything like that. And then, so I pay monthly. So monthly, again, it's probably around $250 or so. The subscription lasts for about a year. So we're looking at between $2,500 and $3,000 a year. Renee. Yeah, I'm sorry, Renee. Or sorry, everybody. I'm just kind of reading what Renee said. She's still talking about the frozen shoulder that she would like scream out in pain because she thought, you know, she had an injury. But yeah, well, yeah, our bodies are going through some things. We are going through a lot of things. Is that Gabe Murphy? Great content. Appreciate like your efforts. Thank you. I'm trying to help everybody. Let me just take a quick peek. Let me turn the light on in the oven and see. Jesus, it says 23 minutes. Let me see what's going on in here. Ooh, it's looking good. It's looking good. It's looking good. I think it's all right. I think it's okay. All right, let's see what else we got. What other questions we have? So where was I? All right, so I'm on the HRT and all right, so let me answer this question. Shoot for the Moon is asking, just to be clear, do these symptoms last years? It sounds like this started in your 40s and you just started HRT. From my understanding, these symptoms last years. Yes, it probably started in my 40s, but I didn't know. So it's now if I think back, it sounds to me, if I think back like different things that was happening, it sounds to me like maybe around 43 is when I noticed I was a different person. meaning mentally, I was a different person. And I think we call it midlife crisis, but I think my body and mind had started, or maybe my mind had started going through perimenopause, because I was at that point where, remember I said I was a business manager for MAC Cosmetics, and I remember I had like a nervous breakdown in my office. I just started crying. I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. And I just simply sent my boss a resignation letter, and I resigned right on the spot. And that's when I opened the makeup studio, because I was like, this is ridiculous. I'm not doing this anymore. And that's when I started my own business. So it sounds to me like it started in my early 40s, and I didn't know. I just thought I was going through some kind of midlife crisis. Now I know that's what was happening. My body was changing, my mind was changing. For people in menopause, we call it and I'm gonna curse, I don't usually curse, but it's the we don't give a fuck era. We just don't care. So I noticed that started happening a lot. Like, I just didn't care. I would say whatever I want to say, do whatever I want to do, because I was like, whatever. I want to feel like me, and those things help resolved and made me feel like me. So yes, it probably started in my 40s. When I really felt like I was about to just collapse and die on the floor, I was about 53. So I'm 54 now. Yeah, so I've been on HRT since the beginning of the year-ish. Yes, thank you. I'm just reading again. Sorry, guys, my 40s. Yes, thank you. You really appreciate sharing that experience. I want to be able to help. I just want to be able to help, because, social media has its bad and its good. It's helped me. I try to make sure that my algorithm is things that is gonna teach me and enlighten me, not crappy stuff, nothing that's gonna make me depressed. I definitely use that block button, and I try to just, ask Instagram not to send me anything that I think is gonna just corrupt my brain. So I try to get as much information. I listen to as many podcasts. I read many books. I use my own common sense also too, because somebody said the other day, well, menopause is trendy now. And I hate that word trendy, because that sounds like something that's going to go out of style or something like that. And I'm like, I kind of happy that it's trending, because it's bringing more information for us. I'm hoping it's not a trend, because it's literally like what women are going through. And I would hate for the information to stop coming, or the research to stop, because we think it's a trend. Because I mean, there's more women than men, and we still got to function. And I just feel so bad that there were so many women that was going through this, including my mom, and didn't know what was happening. Now when I think back, I think I've shared with you guys that the reason why I started going plant-based and trying to be so healthy is because of what I saw my parents go through. Not only that I didn't feel good, but just to see the both of them in their young lives, because my mom passed away when she was 62. She had her first stroke and heart attack at 52. So keep in mind, I'm 54. She was already sick, at 52. That's just too young. And just watching the both of them suffer with diabetes and high blood pressure. And, I'm asking the doctors, what could I do? And they're just like, oh, it's just nothing. It's just we don't even know. So I started doing my research. And when I researched, I realized that it could be avoided. Like, all of that metabolic illness that they had was avoidable with just diet and exercise. And that's why I'm on this journey. I refuse to go down that path where I'm paying thousands of dollars to live on medication and live a terrible life. Because literally for 10 years, she lived with a pacemaker and just was sick, just in and out of the hospital constantly. My dad, he ended up having dementia, and had to live in a what do you call it, facility, an elderly facility. It's not the life that I want. I feel young, I feel vibrant, I have so much to give, and I'm like, why would I want to be sick? So I'm gonna eat healthy, I'm gonna exercise, I'm gonna find out as much information that I can, so I can stay as vital and just happy for as long as I can. Not trying to be young. That's totally different. For people who that's their thing, if they trying to look young or be young, that's not for me. I'm just trying to be, just go into my aging, full of life, full of energy, be able to bend and stretch and go on vacation and climb and have a wonderful life with my husband and, you know, do all the things that we should be doing and not have it hampered by just a poor diet, you know? So that's why I'm here. Thank you for listening to my TED Talk. Let me look at some of these questions. Truth, you look great. Thank you. Thank you, Fanny. She said I look great. Thank you. I try. Good choice. And you. Oh, thank you. Great subject. Anything else? Anything else you guys want to ask me about? Y'all don't want to ask about food? Since I'm here and we waiting for this, I may just have to, you know, I don't want to make this live too long, and whoever hangs around because we're going to see the finished product of this quiche. But you guys have any questions about food? Get me now while y'all have the time, because I tell you, I've slowed down a lot on social media. I used to be that person that posted every single day, and it's just, you know, life is happening now, so it's just, it doesn't, even I try to give you guys the information, it's not that important for me to be here every single day. It doesn't work with my schedule. So ask me now while you have the time, while I have the time. Sundays are usually a good time. It looked like, yeah, don't let me have to block you. I mean, be nice on these platforms, because I will block you. I'll tell you one part about getting to this age is I don't care. So comments don't bother me. Nothing bothers me. Again, I'm gonna bring up those retreats, because whoever's been on these lives with me and Naria, we've been talking a lot about retreats, because that's really what I'm into now. Besides my recipes, I work on recipes for the retreat. And part of the retreat that's coming up in May is when I'm doing the retreat in Georgia. It's a 4-day retreat in Georgia. And the title is the FU retreat, is because we're just at that point where we don't care. And I want to teach you guys how to get here to this point where nothing bothers you. Like, you can't, in order to live a happy life, first of all, you have to be in love with yourself. You have to love who you are and yourself. Once you get there, nothing bothers you. I don't care what anybody comments, because I know me, and it doesn't matter. They don't know me. I know me, and I'm comfortable with me, and I love me. So it don't matter. So let's see. Fanny, I follow a lot of, I want to see what she says. I'm going to scroll back down. I follow a lot of your recipes, especially the carrot, that carrot dog. Ooh, that carrot dog. They send me death threats over that carrot dog. Like, it makes no sense. It's a carrot. Like, it's not that serious, guys. It's not, if you don't like it, don't do the recipe. I'm going to make the vegan chicken soon. I notice whenever I start to juice, I feel so much better mentally and physically. Yes. Whenever you eat better, you feel better. Whenever you feel better, you're more inclined to exercise. And when I say exercise, you guys could just walk. Walking is simple. And then everything in your life starts to get better. And I mean, I'm telling you guys the truth. Like, literally, this is not some foolishness, just me just here saying whatever. I'm telling you from experience. Once you eat better, you exercise, your mind becomes clearer mentally, and every single thing in your life becomes better. When I say I thank God every single morning because I have the most beautiful life, I have the life that I dreamt about when I was working hard in retail till midnight, just standing, and I just was like, one day. And here it is, because I just decided to take care of me. And once I took care of me, everything fell into place. I'm Jamaican. All right, nifty friends. I'm Jamaican, and you know we eat based on taste and not nutrition. I know. What advice can you give to someone who wants to live a healthier lifestyle, starting with nutrition? Believe me, I know. I know. So we definitely eat on taste and not on nutrition. And I love that because food, the way food tastes is how you season it, right? So when you see, like, let's say the carrot dog, for instance. I know that's just a random one. A lot of you probably never gonna try the carrot dog. The reason why the carrot dog tastes like a hot dog, all you have to do is season it with flavors that taste like a hot dog. That's it. So when you do that, the item, the property that you have is not gonna taste like a vegetable. It's gonna taste like what you seasoned it with. That makes sense because we do the same thing with meat. I don't hate meat. I love meat. It just doesn't work with my system. It makes me bloated. It makes me sick. It just don't work for me. But the seasoning is what gives it the taste. So Jamaican to Jamaican, let's say jerk, right? Anything you season with jerk seasoning is gonna taste like jerk. If you season mushroom, it's gonna taste like jerk. You season carrots, it's gonna taste like jerk. You season whatever you season, jackfruit with jerk seasoning, gonna taste like jerk. That's how you make the transition. That's all I did. You know, everyone's like, well, how do you come up with these recipes? All I did was take the seasoning and just put it on a vegetable, and it tastes the same way. Now, there's more nuance to it when it comes to texture and stuff like that. That's why I'm here, is that's when I was suggesting that have the same texture. Like the fried chicken using a mushroom. When you cook that particular mushroom, the oyster mushroom, it has fibers, and it will mimic like a chicken thigh. You know, so that's when you take the seasoning and you use a vegetable that will mimic the texture, or you use whatever other thing. You could use seitan or whatever it is to mimic the texture. But that's the best way. Honestly, Nifty, what I did when I started this, because people ask me how you come up with the recipe, I just went back to my Jamaican roots. You know, that's all I did. When I went into the store, I said, why am I acting like I don't know food? Like, I just went back to what we used to eat, you know, just take the yam, all of that, and just cook it the same way, and then just use seasoning that I know, you know, the jerk, you know, onion, paprika, garlic, just season it up, onion, season the food, and it will taste good. That's how you do it. Don't leave it bland. I tell you, I'll never go into a vegan restaurant that they don't season their food. They have to season the food. All right, Vicky. Vicky said, black salt, sodium, how high is your content? It's hard to find a low sodium. And black salt is very salty. I hope I didn't put too much in that quiche. But yeah, black salt is very salty. Just use very little. You know, you control the salt when you're cooking your own food, so just put less. But black salt I don't think there's a low sodium black salt. I think they're more salty than regular salt for people who are not familiar with it. So yeah, it is pretty salty. All right, let's see. Fanny says, so I agree with you 100%. I blocked many people within the past year, and I am not bothered by it. You just don't have the energy or nonsense for yeah, just block them. That's why the block button is there. Just block them. You can't take things to heart. You know, you have to remember, people are going through things. You know, a lot of people mentally are going through things, physically are going through things, and sometimes they just want to take it out on you because you're there. You just have to remember, it's not about you, it's about them. You know, they're going through it. You know, I was telling my daughter a story this morning that, you know, I usually get up around maybe 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning. And, you know, I get up, I'll do a little meditation, always thankful for the life that I have. And I'll look at my phone to make sure there's no emergencies, because I tell you, I sleep hard. I get my 8 hours of sleep. So I look and I'm like, okay, nothing crazy happened. And I noticed I had 2 messages on Instagram. And I didn't want to go on Instagram because it's just too early. It's too early. But I was like, I gotta go because I have brand deals, and sometimes they'll send message to me through Instagram. And I was waiting for this one message from one brand. So I was like, let me go on it. So when I go on it, the first thing that pops up the minute I open Instagram is somebody leaving a comment, on one of those hot dog videos, right? The viral carrot dog video. And the first thing she says is, I'm not gonna curse in this one. I don't like cursing, but I'm gonna just, she said, F you and your effing hot dog. And I just laughed. I sat there, and guys, sometimes I answer the comments and sometimes I don't even bother. But I felt bad for her. I was just like, so you got up at 5:30 in the morning and you decided, I'm gonna leave this girl a message, and to hell with her or her hot dog. So I just, I said to her, I said, I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. And I sent one of those, like, those hearts, because I was like, damn, that's just sad, So like I said, it doesn't bother me. It's just, people are going through it. And it had nothing to do with me. She going through it, So again, when you see those comments, guys, don't feel sorry for me. I love it. Plus, just so y'all know, that's engagement. So the more comments, the more my video gets pushed, and the more my video gets pushed, the more brand deals I get, and the better I do. So comment away. Like, it doesn't bother me one bit. But no, I'm here because I think I was put here to help you guys, to help somebody who needed help, and I'm gonna still be here. I'm not going anywhere. Okay, Kathy, great subject. Love your recipes from Canada. Love Canada. Also, love your carrot dog. Carrot dog is good. People don't know carrot dog is good. They missing out. If you haven't tried a carrot dog, believe me, it tastes like a hot dog, guys. I'm not lying. It tastes like a hot dog. It will blow your mind. For my husband to request a hot carrot dog in the summer is crazy, because he's not vegan, but he's just like, damn, that thing really tastes like a hot dog. It's good. I'm telling you, it's really good. I tried your chickpea tuna and it is good. Chickpea tuna is good. Any other ideas that's simple like that? I will start doing more simple ideas again. I have plenty. Go through my what is it, on YouTube, the playlist. I put them in categories, so there's plenty. Honestly, I really try to keep the recipes simple, simple, simple. I listen to my gut, and my gut tells me I am not watching or doing a recipe that is very long, that takes a long time. Like, for me to do this quiche, and this is taking like 50 minutes to be done, it's pissing me off. It's gonna be done once in a while. Even though the recipe is easy to put together, I hate that it takes this long. So there's plenty of simple recipes on my page. Joyous, hopeful. I love that. I love your tag name. Hey, glad I got you live. I haven't seen you in a while. I haven't been here in a while. I have changed my diet. I eat less and less meat. I'm trying to stop eating seafood, and I want to feel better. Walk, stand for a longer period. Yes, that's what it's about. It's not us trying to be young. We know we're gonna die at some point, but while you're here, don't you want to live your best life? I love that I could play with my granddaughter and bend and stretch and do all the things. Why wouldn't you want that? So yes, Joyous, yes. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying go vegan. I'm not saying become plant-based. I'm not saying any of that, but just put more fiber-rich foods, more foods that your cells are gonna use, and less food. We're eating too much food sometimes. Sometimes just not starve yourself, but just like scale it down a little bit on the plate, and you'll feel good. Believe me, you'll feel good. And like I said before, if your body feels good, your mind feels good. If your mind feels good, you feel good, your life feels good, everything starts to turn around. Your whole life. I will put money on it. Your whole life changes when you change your diet. Your whole life. Your whole life. But get educated, read books, ask questions, read labels. They will trick you. I heard somebody said once, the front is for entertainment and the back is for education. Read those labels because they will try to throw anything in something that you think is simple like bread, you know? So, yeah. And for those of you who remember me wearing the glucose monitor, I loved it. I loved it. Hopefully, I'll get a sponsorship with them because I really want to talk to you guys more and more about it. But the glucose monitor, the continuous glucose monitor that I had on the back of my arm, it really gave me insight to when I was having a glucose spike, what foods were triggering those spikes, and it taught me how to eat in better order, meaning it matters what you eat first on your plate. So on your plate, you always want to do fiber first, then your protein, then your carbohydrates. The fiber is going to create little fibers in your intestine that blocks the sugar from running right into your bloodstream and causing a sugar spike. And I witnessed that from eating pizza. Pizza was it was my granddaughter's birthday and she had a party, and I remember thinking, oh boy, this sugar is gonna be crazy. And I provided the salad. I brought a salad. I ate the salad first. And once I ate the salad, then I ate the pizza. I didn't have a sugar spike. So the order that you eat your food is super, super important. So it's little things like that I'm trying to get better information on. So when I do these, what I eat in a day, or I do recipes, I can make educated suggestions so you guys could understand what to do, and it will help you out better, because the more you get sugar spikes, it's the more you become insulin resistant, and that is diabetes. And like I said, I don't want that. If that is preventable, why would you want it? Like it doesn't even make sense. Why would you want it? All right, let me check on this quiche, because I think it should be good by now. Give me a second, guys. I'll be right back. All right, I took it out. I took out the quiche. Yep, and there, the oven is done. I was right on time. I was right on time. How did I know? How did I know? Well, you know, it's hot as heck. So there it is. That's what it looked like. That's what it looked like. I should have cleaned up. I'm here running my mouth. I should have put some of this stuff away. This is hot, but this is what it looks like, guys. I think it looks pretty. I think it looks beautiful. I don't know if we could wait around for it to cool down, so I could, there it is. See? It looks pretty. The crust looks good too. I think I made myself a quiche. I hope it's like solid on the inside. I want to touch it, like bounce it. It feels solid, but it needs to cool, and the cooling is going to help it set. But I did it, guys. I did it. I made a quiche. I hope it tastes good. I'm resetting my camera. Hopefully this doesn't fall. Okay. I made a quiche. I did it. All right. Any other question? What was used to sub for eggs? I love it. Who was that? Yes. I used just eggs, or just eat from plants. Like I was saying in the beginning, this is a great egg substitute. I really, really like it. They did a good job with this. It tastes like eggs. The texture is like eggs, but it's so damn expensive. So this is a once in a while recipe for me. I am very, what do you call it, financially conscious now. You know, things like this is once in a while, but I wanted for those who want to try it, I wanted to be able to present this recipe for you. But this is what I use. I can't even remember how much it is. I remember when this first came out, it used to be like $4. This might have been $7, this box right here. But it's, you know, if you like eggs, it works. It works. It does work. Someone said, yum. Well, let's see. Wait till I taste it, because you know I'm honest. If it don't taste good, we won't do this again. I think it will taste good. I mean, I've had the just eggs before. We added spinach and caramelized onions. We added some some of those sausages, you know, for protein and meat and stuff, I think it'll be okay. My thing is the texture. I just don't want it to be like watery, or I'm trying to get this off of my mic so you guys are not hearing. I don't want it to be watery or squishy or nasty. I want it to be firm, but not hard or dry. So that's really what I'm waiting for this to cool down so I can taste it and see. But I leave information on the community board. So if you guys are your YouTube and you're subscribed, whenever I put up a message, you'll see it. So if you, I don't think I'm gonna, maybe it cool down. As you can see, my chat, my love for talk. When I'm finished with these lives, my husband be like, damn, you could talk. I'm like, I know, I can't help it. But I'm an introvert. It doesn't make sense. But I like to give you guys information. So if you still hang around and I cut it and we could look at it, then you get to see it. Yeah. Any other questions? Any other questions? I'm probably gonna do lives more. It's just easier. I am gonna still make videos, but lives are easier because I could just get right in here and do it right now instead of filming and editing, and you know, that takes a lot of time. So I hope you guys like the lives, you know? Let me know if you like the lives. Let me know. I'll keep doing them, and we could discuss anything at any time, or you could send me messages on what you want to see me make live. Please do not make anything that's intricate, because it just takes too long, and who want to do that? Like, I'm not gonna make ribs. Y'all just love asking me, could you make some vegan? I'm not making vegan ribs. It's just that takes so much time that, you know, we'll be here for 2 hours, and I don't think if that's something that people want to see or would stay to see. But if you have any suggestions about any other topics you want me to talk about, I thought menopause would be one of those things that would be a good topic to talk about because I'm personally going through it. It is not trendy. Please, people, stop saying it's trendy or it just came up 2 years ago. It didn't. Women been going through this for years. They just was never given the attention, and now we're finally, thank goodness, there's celebrities out there that's talking about it, and we're not so afraid to talk about it anymore, because it was pretty taboo. Nobody wants to talk about the, you know, the changes that are going through, and that they're getting older. And one thing I do have to remember, I know this is a little bit of my vegan kitchen after dark. For the women, so one thing I didn't mention as a symptom that you will notice almost right away is that your libido declines. I can't even tell you guys when I notice, because life is happening. And for women that are busy, you know, I'm managing a business. I had kids, you know, my kids were in college at the time. It was just so much going on in life that you're living life, you're lifing. So if you're not interested in sex, you're just kind of like, I'm busy, you know? So that was one of the symptoms also. But let me tell you, when you get on HRT, it's a whole other world, ladies. You are a teenager all over again when it comes to that. So I welcome that with HRT, and if I have to pay for it for the rest of my life, I will. I'm very happy, and so is my husband. And yeah, it gives you back your libido, mentally and physically. So why wouldn't you want that? That was just a little bit of after dark for you. So on that note, we're gonna try to cut this, see what's going on here, and yeah, if you guys have questions about that, I'm willing to answer, but it is 1 o'clock on a Sunday, so it's not after dark here where I am, but you know, I can answer those questions too. I went to get a cake cutter. Sorry, I should have told you I was walking away. I know most of you are like, where the hell did she go? Cake cutter. All right. All right. Should I? Yes, I am. This is the test. So if I cut it, I need to do it now, right? Look at my dog. She's like, oh, is it food? You ready? Not for you, baby. Not for you. She's the only one that stuck around and watched the live with me in my house. All right. Ooh, this looks, the texture so far. I think I did it. Texture so far is good. Texture so far is good. I'm breaking up the crust though. Ooh, I broke up the crust, but hey, we don't need that. You know, I tell you guys, I think last week Naria asked me, or one of you guys asked me if I am a dessert person. And I said no. I don't know why. I don't like sweet stuff. I like savory. So even with dessert, if I had to eat a dessert, I love custard and I love pies, but I don't like the crust. I just like the cooked fruit on the inside. So I just lost the crust of this, and I don't care because I want what's in there. So let me get a plate. All right, let's get this out. Let's get this out and see what's going on. Let's see if Michelle effed it up or if she knew what she was doing. All right, there it is. I think I did it. It's hot as hell, but I think I did it. I think I did it. It looks good. Smells good. I smell and taste everything. Because it has to be pretty and it has to smell good or I don't want to eat it. So, all right. Let me get a fork. Oh my gosh, you know what I was going to put in there also? I just remembered. But you know what? You can make it your own. I was going to put some sun-dried tomatoes in there. I pulled it out and everything. Darn it. I forgot the nutritional yeast and the sun-dried tomatoes. I tell you, when you do things live, y'all see how I be messing up, right? When it's filmed, but all right, let's try it out. Okay, texture is good, so let me see. See, texture is good. Okay, it's not mushy. The fake egg is egging, right? It looks like egg. I know what that sausage tastes like, so I'm gonna push that on the side. I'm trying to talk to cool this down so I don't burn my mouth and y'all laugh at me. Okay, smell good. All right, here we go. It worked. Ooh, hot. It's good. It's good. I might have put too much sausage in there, because I'm tasting a lot of sausage, but it worked. I did it. I did it. This is good. This is good. This is good. This is good. Yes, 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 yes. That's good. I'm gonna perfect it a little bit more. So when I go to my family's house, because you know I'm always the only vegan and it's breakfast time, I could be like, I got something, and then they could try this. And I don't think anybody will know it's not real eggs. This is actually really good. I think I did it, guys. I hope you guys try this recipe. I hope you guys try it. You don't have to do eggs. I just want to make sure. And I didn't put too much salt in it for the person that said you use black salt. I didn't put too much salt, but this is good. This is good. I could eat this. All right. I did it. I'm proud of myself. I love to cook. All right. Everybody's happy. Yay, yay. I'll do more lives. Like I said, I'll try to keep the recipes easy so I could get you guys on your way. I am so happy that so many of you decided to join, you know, to hear me, my TED talk about stuff and talk about my health and what's going on in my life and why you don't see that many videos. It's just, I'm trying to make it interesting without, you know, I don't want it to be boring. I don't want you guys to be like, oh, that's it, another salad or, you know, whatever. But I'm not like, I don't want to say like other content creators, you know, just make content to make content. Usually the content involves what's going on in my life. To me, it's just more authentic that way instead of me just making random recipes and just like, here's another recipe, here's another recipe. It's usually gonna be tailored to what's happening with me, and it's a recipe that I tried and it tastes really good. And I'm like, I gotta share it with people. And that's how you guys end up getting a recipe. Because I'm hoping that for those of you who are going through health issues or whatever it is, that my content, you know, resonates with you, that you understand, like, you know, that we have kind of the same, that you understand what that all right, that my followers are my real followers, not like just people just here just to be here. Like, I want to make sure I'm helping you guys, and you don't have to be in menopause, not at all. It could be any age, but I know that is very important topic, so that's why I'm tailoring a lot of the recipes for that. So when I say that, the reason why this interests me, because it's fun and it's high in protein. So a lot of my diet these days is definitely going to be high protein, high fiber. My protein intake is usually about 130, 140 a day, because that's going to help me maintain muscle and it keeps me full. Fiber, because you have to keep going to the bathroom, and also fiber helps to keep your insulin low. So always remember, add fiber, and water, and exercise. And the best exercise, and I've been screaming this from the rooftop, yes, it's important for you to lift weights, lift heavy weights, ladies. However, walking is very underrated. Walk. Try to get at least a mile or two in a day. What they say, like 10,000 steps. It helps with your mental, and it's gonna get rid of that belly fat that you start to gain once you go into perimenopause and menopause. It does work, and it tightens up your legs, and you feel so good afterwards. So, get into walking, get into lifting weights if you can, and eat healthy. Thank you guys for joining my live. Okay, I'll see you next week, next Sunday. I'll do another live at 12 o'clock. Okay, I got to think about what recipe I'm gonna do. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I'm so happy to be here and to share this information and cooking recipes with you guys. I'll have the information for the quiche and the recipe and everything else. I'll even leave the retreats that are coming up. I'll leave links so you guys could go and check it out. And you could also, with the links, if you need to, it will ask you when you click on the link and you get to the retreat page, if you want to have a personal conversation. So if you want to know more about it, not just like read it and be like, oh, I think I want to go. If you want to talk to me or you want to talk to Nuria about the retreats, please set up a time. It will give you options for times, and set up a time and we'll talk to you. We'll have a Zoom meeting with you and talk to you about the retreats, because the retreats saved my life, and it made me so much of a better person, a better understanding. And like I said, nothing bothers me, nothing. Everything in life happens for a reason, and that's how I take it now. And it happens for a reason that you need to go on in life. So that's it. That's my spiel. Now I'm choking. Bye, guys. Enjoy your Sunday. Bye. Thank you again for joining.